Don't judge people when you meet them, especially women. Don't judge them. Now, you may be thinking, what? That's contrary to what I've heard you say on here, or what I believe, or what I've heard. But let me relax. Just relax, relax, relax. Let me explain, okay? When I say don't judge women, I mean don't outwardly cast your judgment on women. The reason why, and this can be, extended to people in general, but more particularly for men that are dealing with women that frequently cast judgment, do not cast judgment outwardly, because the moment you cast judgment outwardly, you're essentially losing a level of trust with them. You want them to feel like they can confide in you because prior information enables. What that means is the more information you have, the better you can handle a situation and you can choose how to, maneuver in that situation accordingly. So if you were to just consistently judge girls, if a girl was to tell you something, she's to say, her body count was really high, and you judge her straight away in that moment, you're potentially damaging the ability to get more information that can potentially be beneficial to you and prevent yourself from ending up in a precarious situation. So don't outwardly judge women. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything. It means that you can essentially remove yourself from the situation once you have all of the information you need, but don't outwardly judge them. You will never be able to get information from people if they feel like they're being judged. People will always look to protect themselves. So, one thing I've had to work on is that sometimes, I'd have a woman disclose information to me and I feel to outwardly cast judgment, or sometimes my face wouldn't be able to hold in, because I'm not someone that lies. I don't like lies. I don't like, you know, detracting from the truth. And someone could say something and is unfavorable. I'm not looking at them great. They could say that, let's say you're speaking to a girl and they say that they stole from their cousin. I would find it so difficult to not quince and be like, you stole from your family. But the problem with doing that is I can potentially put myself at risk. And I should be grateful that I got that information so I know how to deal with this person accordingly. Again, this can go towards men. This can go towards women judging men. But I like to use the instance of women because I am a man. And I know that a lot of men will struggle often with this in particular. But it can be flipped. The inverse of the situation can be exactly the same. If a man discloses information to you, perhaps he lets you know that he engages in fraud, he's a fraudster, and you judge him, and he has certain knowledge or information about you, you're potentially putting yourself at risk. All because you couldn't have just allowed that to go by and then maneuvered accordingly. This life is chess, not checkers. You can't act out of emotion. You have to act out of rationality. In order to enact the most effective steps, you need as much information as you can take. Information and prior information enables. What does it enable? It enables you to make the best move. If you're someone that's simply interested in making the best move for yourself, which you should be, especially if you're dealing with someone on an intimate or personal level, then you need as much information as possible, and you should never let them feel like they're being judged or let them feel like the information they're relaying to you shouldn't be heard. I always like to let people know that it's a safe space, and it comes from a place of honesty. A lot of the time, it is a safe space, and a lot of the time, people want to confide in me because they understand that when they're telling me things, they're not going to be casted immediate judgment. Even your friends, this video initially was talking about, don't judge women, but this can be down to your friends. Don't judge when your friend gives you information. Don't judge them to make them feel bad. Let's say they've made a mistake. They've done something wrong. They should be able to confide in you and give you as much information as possible. And with as much information as possible, you can give them the remedy or the right answer so that they don't make that mistake again. Especially important for people you care about, because you don't want them to end up in a cycle of perpetually making the same mistakes. You want them to make different. You want them to change for the better. And for people you're just getting to know, is simply the more information the better. The more information, the better. Whether that be, you know, illegal activity they've been engaging in, previous partners. I want to know. I want to know it all, and I'm gonna make you feel so comfortable telling me not to use it, not to use this information against you, but just to make sure that that your character isn't used against me. Because I'm someone that wants the best for people. I'm someone that cares about people. I'm someone that's very giving and very open. And if I don't have all the information possible, I can't calculate and make the best decisions for me, and I can't protect myself. So do not judge women. And this can be expanded to just don't judge people outwardly. Don't judge people outwardly. You're going to make judgments. We all make judgments. It's how we are able to, you know, make deductive reasoning and sort of choose how we go about things. It's pattern recognition. We're humans. You see certain things, you understand this is hot, you don't touch it. This is how we make decisions. But if you outwardly cast judgment and it's something negative, that person will never share information with you again. And you don't know what information they had that you could have been A, beneficial to you, or could have been potentially negative to you, but having known that, you could prevent it from affecting you in a negative way. So this one's a fairly quick one. It may seem fairly obvious to some, and to others, maybe you just need to have that reminder and it should just reinforce the message. But try not to cast outward judgment. That doesn't mean that certain things shouldn't be what's the word? Reprehensible. Is that the word? These words just come to me as it flows. No edits, but reprimandable, reprehensible. One of them. One of the two. Pick one. Go Google it. That doesn't mean that certain information that shouldn't be the case. Shame is important at times, but there's a time and a place for it. When you're getting to know somebody, or if it's someone you care about, let them tell you as much as possible. Not to go and gossip, not to go and chitter chatter, but simply to have the information for you to move accordingly and for you to position yourself the best on the chessboard. Chess, not checkers. Let's get it.